Welcome to video 3 for the test on January 22nd. Here we go. The Chavav Amr Aleph is where we're up to over here. Here, let's just make sure. Yes, it is Chavav Amr Aleph. And we're starting down. Ochlin Achilat Arai Chutz Sukkah. So we learned in the Mishnah that you can have a snack outside of the Sukkah. What's called a snack? Amr Yosef Tartia plus B, 2 or 3 eggs. Abai says to him, again, a lot of times, a person has enough 2 or 3 eggs, it's really a meal. So this kava, that's already a real meal. The ta'im bar beirav is what a talmud, is what a student tastes before he goes into shir. In other words, there's something to keep you along. So less than that. So we learned to the rabbis, you're allowed to have a snack outside of the sukkah. But you can't go ahead and take a nap outside of the sukkah. My time. Why is there a difference? Again, why buy a snack arai? For eating, we don't care about. For sleeping, all of a sudden, you can't do that. Ravashi says, because we're afraid you're going to fall asleep. In other words, you go in for a nap, and all of a sudden, it turns into a couple of hours. Abaye asked the question, to tell you, but that which you learned in the Braita, Yashin Adon Shinat Arai B'Tfilin, that a person is allowed to take a little nap with the tefillin on, but not a real sleep. Why we allow Shinat Arai by tefillin? We should distinguish the same fear. Then maybe the guy's going to say, I'm just going to put my head down for a minute, and he's going to fall asleep for a couple of hours. And again, the inyan with sleeping in tefillin, because you don't have total control of your bodily functions. You may pass gas, fluctuate is the fancy word, and you're supposed to do that with your tefillin on. So why do we allow a shinat arai, a nap with tefillin, but not with sukkah? So you say, with sukkah, we're afraid shemi yiradeh, because maybe you're going to really fall asleep. You should have the same should be true by tefillin. So Amar Rav Yosef, right? Rav Yosef says there's no real difference between sukkah and tefillin. The difference is Moseshin Atzal. The case of tefillin, we're talking about we told somebody else to wake him up, which would be the same thing by sukkah then. In other words, sukkah, they don't allow a nap shemi yiradeim, but if you told somebody after 10 minutes wake me up, that would be fine. That's called Mosir Shinatzal La'achirim. You literally are giving your sleep to somebody else. And it was putting somebody else in charge. So the last small line, Ramashashia attacks it. I don't like that. Erbach, Arbitzarech. Erbach, again, is a co-signer. Someone takes responsibility. The person who takes responsibility, they need somebody else that's going to take responsibility. In other words, because you ask somebody to wake you up, they don't always remember. They fall asleep themselves. That is not a good system. You can't tell me because you have somebody that's going to wake you up that all of a sudden it's going to be a Shinat Torah. I've set my alarm. You just sleep through the alarm. So what's the difference between the case of tefillin and case of sukkah? And Amar Rabba Barachana Amar Yochanan Beniach Rosho Ben Birkov Askinan. Again, there's no difference between tefillin and sukkah. The difference is what sort of shinat arai. You have shinat arai when you're on a lounge chair and you may really fall asleep, or the case with the tefillin is that you're going ahead and you're sitting in a chair and you're sort of like you're letting your head droop. And that's the difference between them. According to this again, there's no difference between tefillin and sukkah. Just the two braitot are talking about two very different situations. The one by sukkah happens to be going in your lounge chair. Don't do that because that's going to turn into a sleep. And the one by tefillin is talking about we're sitting in a chair and you're drooping off. Rava Amar ain't keva l'sheina. No, this is very, very different. When it comes to Shena, when it comes to sleep, there's no just difference between Arai and Keva. In other words, when you go ahead and you sleep just for a couple of minutes, it has a real beneficial effect. When you just eat a little something, you're going to be hungry very soon. But you take a good 10-minute power nap, it makes a dramatic difference. So therefore, by Sukkah, even a short nap, you can't, that's Keva. You could say it's 10 minutes, but that's really Keva because it has an effect. By tefillin, where we're only afraid what's called shema yafiach, that you might pass gas or whatever, 10-minute nap, we're not afraid of that. And so by tefillin, we'll allow that. Whereas by sukkah, every sleep is called keva. Tanichada, we have one bright that says the following: Yashen adam tefillin shinat arai. that someone can have a little nap while when they have their tefillin on, avalo shina keva, but not a real sleep. But Tanya Idach, I have a second bright that says ben keva ben arai. Anything's allowed by tefillin. But Tanya Idach, and there's the third bright that says lo keva v'lo arai. Nothing's allowed by tefillin. So you have three brights out, a head-on collision. One says there's a difference in Shinat Arai Shina Keva. One says everything is fine. The third one says everything's no good. Says the Gemara Lo Kasha. There's no stira, there's no contradiction in three brights. Each one is talking in a different sort of case. One is talking about Tanaka Lebiyade. The one that says you can Shina Keva and Shinat Arai, nothing is allowed. We're talking about where you're holding your tefillin in your hand. So even if you just nod off for 5 minutes, you may drop them. And so we're not going to allow any sleep whatsoever when you're holding tefillin in your hands. The manche bereshe. The case where shina arai yes, shina keva no, is where it's on your head. You're wearing them. So shina arai, okay, it's fine. You're not off for 5 minutes. Shina keva, we're already afraid shema yafiach. Maybe you fluctuate, maybe you're going to pass gas, and therefore we're not going to allow it. The case, the Braita says everything is good. The paras sudra iluya, that you took off your tefillin and you put them on the bed and you put something over it, and then you want to take a nap. So then you could nap, you could sleep, everything is fine. B'chama shinat arai, what is considered to be a nap? Tani Rami Bar Yecheska, Rami Bar Yecheska says he look mea amma. The time it would take you to walk 100 amot, which is not very long. Really just talking about nodding off. Tanya Namiyachi, we learned to Braita also like this. Hayashem b'tefillin. Somebody falls asleep with their tefillin, b'roi keri, and they have an emission when they have their tefillin on. How do they go ahead and take their tefillin off? The tefillin has kedusha, and now you're in an unclean state. Ochez b'rtzua. You should go ahead and you should hold on to the straps. In other words, not the bayit of the tefillin, where the actual parshiot are, but to the straps. Ve'eno ochez b'ksitza. But you don't hold on to the bayit. Devei Rabbi Yaakov. The Chachamim go ahead and they comment, Yashen Adam, but tefillin shinat arai, avalo shina keva. No, this shouldn't happen because you're going ahead and you're only allowed to sleep a very short nap, and you're not going to have an emission in a very short nap, but not shina keva. The cham is shinat arai, and how much is shinat arai? So this backs up what we said before. Kadehi luch meya ama, as long as we take it to walk 100 cubits, again, which isn't very long. Amarav, Rav says, also la adam lisham b'yom yoser b'shinas hasos. That a person shouldn't go in the habit of sleeping during the day more than a horse would sleep. In other words, when you're sleeping, you are unproductive. A person should be spending the time learning Torah, doing other productive things, and just sleeping. You're not getting anything. How long is shinas hasos? How long does a horse sleep? Shitin nashmei. So we call in English, I think there's a thing you catch 40 winks. So this is like 60 winks, 60 breaths, which again isn't very much. Amar Abaye says shanasei demar, the shena of Mar, my master, his master was Rabba Bar Nachmani. When he sleeps, again, we're talking about during the day. Kid Rav is like the sleep of Rav. With the Rav, and Rav's sleep is Skrebi. It's like Rebbe Yehuda Nasi sleep. But the Rebbe Yehuda Nasi is like David, like David HaMelech. But David, when David slept, the susya, and it was never more than like a sus. Then a horse will sleep with the susya, and how much does a horse sleep? Shitza nishmi, 60 breaths. So again, a very short nap is allowed. Otherwise, you want to be a person should be productive during the day. Again, if you are really tired, you're sick or whatever, we're not talking about that. We're just talking about where you're just nodding off. Abaye would fall asleep when he take the trip from Pumbedisa to a place called Beikuchi, he would nod off. Kri alei Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef used to say the following pasuk about Abaye for this particular habit. Ad matai yotzel tishkav. How long is this lazy guy going to sleep? Matai tekom mishnatecha. When are you going to get up from your sleep? And this is a pasuk in Mishlei, and so he was really very, very critical of Abaye for taking a nap when he was traveling. It was the time for limud Torah and not for taking naps. Okay, the now going to skip from here until the Mishnah which is towards the bottom of the page, which will be the next video.